Hi everyone, happy Halloween. Jazz here, and this week I really want to talk about what Halloween/St. Martin's Day looked like during my experience in Germany. First thing is, there is no Halloween. Es gibt kein Halloween in Deutschland. It wasn't really a thing. I didn't celebrate it at all. So it was really hilarious being in Germany, and it's like seeing all these Instagram videos and stories about Halloween and their costumes and all these parties they were going to. And I'm just like, we don't do anything here. It's not a thing. So what I really wanted to talk about is St. Martin's Day. Like I said, Halloween doesn't exist in Germany, but St. Martin's Day is the most equivalent. So St. Martin's Day is basically derived from the Christian faith. It occurs on the 11th of November every year. And it's basically commemorating St. Martin. So basically, who is St. Martin? So according to the Hidden Treasures Project from St. Martin's, it says that St. Martin lived between around AD 316 and 397. He began his career as a Roman soldier, but one day he saw a freezing beggar in the street. He cut his cloak in two and gave half to the beggar. Afterward, he dreamt that the beggar was actually Jesus, and it changed his life. St. Martin became a Christian and resigned from the army. He later became Bishop of Tours in France. Martin is the patron saint of soldiers, beggars, and France. His feast day is November 11th, Armistice Day. So basically, his life changed after basically a spiritual encounter with a beggar. So from then on, it is now a national holiday, and it's the most equivalent to Halloween because from my first days there, like the first day, it was like basically they did it in like 2 days. But I remember one day we actually had these lanterns, Laterna, and we had a light inside of them, and we had these little, like those little, they kind of look like a fishing rod, but they have lights on it, and they put that, and they hang the lanterns on it, and then part of that rod part, or the string that hangs off the rod, that goes into the lantern and that lights it up. And they would walk through the streets. And so we went over to their friend's house, and they basically went around to different houses, and we basically sang songs, and they gave us candy. As an adult, or actually as the only young adult there who's not middle-aged but also over the age of 10, was it's like, okay, we're singing songs, and then people give us candy, like basically their form of trick-or-treating. And then also we had this experience where we went to this one house where there was an elderly couple, and they said, oh, children. So after they sang the song, and then they gave them candy, and they said, oh, for the Erwachsene, for the adults. So they had, we have like shot glasses, and we're taking schnapps. So I was like, this is weird, because normally, in my experience of trick-or-treating, even as an adult, is that you normally don't go over to like random people, don't just, give out alcohol, so, which I thought was really, really strange. And from there, it was just I was like, all right, when in Rome, do as the Romans do, because all the adults were taking the little shot glasses. And I'm just going to be honest with you, the alcohol content in Germany is a lot lower, or it feels a lot lower than in the United States, given the fact that in Germany, drinking is actually a form of social interaction versus, hey, let's get wasted. So especially because when I was there with a lot of different gatherings that we had with friends over, people were drinking alcohol-free beer, which kind of defeats the purpose of it being beer. But it's just for social interaction to have a beer, even if it's like alcohol-free. If you wanted to, if you're really into alcohol, sure. But the thing is that for people who it's like, I want to be a part of the group, but I don't really want to drink. That's the thing. And I remember that even when I was living in a co-living space before the pandemic, we had one of our neighbors who lived in a guy's house. I think he was Mormon, and he didn't drink at all. And so he would always be like, oh, everyone's drinking. He's like, yeah, guys, I bought my alcohol-free beer. And we were all making fun of him. But then when I went to Germany, I was like, yeah, it's the thing. They actually are making it a lot more so now, especially because like drunk driving and all these other unsafe behaviors that are associated with drinking. It's a thing. So I didn't realize it, but alcohol-free alcohol is a thing there. So yeah, we were taking schnapps, and we had a shot glass, and my host mother at the time, she was just like, oh, I only need a little bit because I have to drive. We had to drive the kids back home. So basically trick-or-treating and taking a shot of schnapps with my host mother and her friends, her adult friends, and being the only it was really weird because I was the only one who was under 30. So the only adult under 30. So it kind of was weird. It's like, you guys are old enough to be my parents, sort of, but I'm technically an adult, I don't know. It was a kind of weird in between. And yeah, so that's one of the things that I noticed. Then I remember with their, then on the actual St. Martin's Day, I remember we went with the kids with their kindergarten, and we brought our lanterns, and we all bundled up because it was November. In Germany, in northern Germany, to be specific. So we're all bundled up, and we were just all like together and singing, Laterne, Laterne, Sonne, Mond und Sterne. So, and all these different songs, and I was very grateful that they were passing out lyrics because I don't know these songs. It's like how in the United States we have songs and like nursery rhymes that we sing or we chant all the time. Like we have patty cake. That was a big thing growing up, but they have their own form of nursery rhymes and songs. Like it's very common for us to sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. I remember the mom was singing some of these songs with the kids, and I was like, I don't know what this is. I've never heard it before. So they singing these little songs. Glad they had the lyric printouts. I don't know where they are because I think I have it somewhere as a souvenir. But yeah, and so we went around this big area within the neighborhood. We started at their kindergarten, and their kindergarten was like a 5-minute drive away, less than that. So we basically just walked up from there, and yeah, that's pretty basically it. Yeah, that's it. It's very common in that culture to go to church, and there's usually like food and things like that, but because of the pandemic, that made it a little bit more challenging. So that was my experience basically with like the equivalent of Halloween, St. Martin's Day. And I know that in some parts of our culture somewhere in the world, especially like with Halloween, it's associated with All Saints Day, Hallows Eve, depending on where you are in the world and your culture in that particular time and space. Because I know that Halloween has like Celtic roots. That's basically where it has been derived from. But a lot of different religions and a lot of different cultures have adopted it, especially now in the United States, since Halloween is very highly commercialized, to where we have candy companies that make all these that make special candy that only comes out once a year, like candy corn. I swear to God, I love candy corn, and every time it comes out, it's like I want it, like I love it. Because I remember actually my mom sent me a box, and I realized because candy corn is not a thing there as it is in the United States. And I remember my mom sent me a box, and I remember getting it, and I shared it with some of the kids, with the parents' permission, of course, because in Germany they're very strict about their intake of sugar from their kids. So they try these little candy corn bits. I think one of them didn't really like it. One of them actually didn't want to try it, but then the mom tried it, and then she felt like, okay, it's safe to try, which is very common. It's very common with children, especially at a young age. It's like, okay, so this candy, I don't know if I should try it because it's American. So when I brought it, I was like, yes, candy corn, because that was one thing I knew I was going to miss during that season. I got a whole bag of it. Yeah, so they said it was very sugary. I'm telling you right now, Germans, they're very, very strict about, at least in the household that I was in, both both of my host families, the mom was very strict about how much sugar that they took in. One of them, they would just basically, my second host family, they were only drinking water regularly. And then maybe every once in a while, like once a week, I saw them drinking like juice. And it was always juice, like a little bit of juice with like water poured in, so it wasn't so sugary. And I was like, oh, that's weird. Yeah, they dilute everything. Anything sugary, they were diluting it. Then there's the apple soda and things like that. So I talked about that more and in details with my video on, with our video on food culture between the United States and Germany from my experience. So if you're planning on being in Germany around St. Martin's Day, I think that's a really great time, especially if you are a Christian and that is your faith, especially like Catholic, then by all means. Germany, I know that the religion there is primarily, from what I saw, there were a lot of Lutheran churches since Martin Luther was a German monk. So Lutheranism is alive and well there is in the Protestant denomination. So if that's what you're into and you want to basically experience that aspect of culture in November, plus not to mention November probably is a good time to travel because before people are preparing for Thanksgiving and holidays. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this is really informative, especially if you're really interested in German language and culture, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye.